Hi there, it's Erin Wilde with the Around Town podcast, and May is such a big, special month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I'm going to introduce you to two guys who are like the picture of strength and being strong, big football players you've probably seen on TV. And when we talk about mental illness, which thankfully these days we talk about it now, it was something that wasn't always talked about. You may look at them and think, oh, no way, they could deal with the things that I deal with or crippling anxiety, but they do. They have a story to tell. And so I'm going to introduce you to them, where they played, and then share their story and something really cool they are doing about mental health. So first off, Chris Thieneman.
Yes, thank you.
And Michael Kiselak.
Thank you.
So you guys, where did you play? What's your football story?
Well, originally I played at the University of Louisville, and but then I went and signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Had my major mental breakdown, was out of football for 3 years, and got healthy mentally because I couldn't speak to anybody about it. It was back then nobody spoke about it because we were supposed to be tough, and so I fell deep, and then I came out, and the first guy that I literally met when I came back to play football was Mike Kiselak, and he was turned out to be a great friend and a great leader, and just proud to be here today, in part because of our friendship.
Yeah, and Mike Kiselak played for the Dallas Cowboys. And when you think Dallas Cowboys, America's team, you guys got to where like 1% of people get. That takes a lot of strength. But share your story of what happened when you got there.
Yes, thank you. Well, when I was 10 years old, real quick, my father took me to the Super Bowl down in Miami. And this was Super Bowl 10.
Okay.
So, and we got to stay the entire week and hang out with the Dallas Cowboys. I was there every day, morning to night. They saw me everywhere. And I got to know a lot of the players. And Tom Landry said, by the end of the week, he just said, "You are my Kentucky Cowboy." I said, "Coach, I'm going to play for you one day." And he says, work hard and do kind of stuff. And it's more than just saying this, but the Dallas Morning News took a picture of me getting an autograph saying, it took the caption, "Kentucky Cowboy."
Wow.
Chris Thieneman 10, says he's going to play for him one day. And then 8 years later, or 10 years later, 13 years later,
Who's counting?
I'm sitting in the same room with the guys, some of them that I had gotten their autographs. I'm sitting next to Randy White, Too Tall Jones,
Wow.
and it was really very overwhelming for me. And it was high anxiety. I was already struggling throughout my life through, I had to pretend that it wasn't, but I was a hypochondriac. I was struggling with panic attacks, depression, but everybody would say, well, that would know me, said, "Why are you doing that? Why are you struggling? What's wrong with you?" So I just try to stay by myself and not let too many people get to know me so close. But then when I was in there with the players, I just said, I can't do it anymore. And I just walked off the field and quit.
Wow.
And went back home and was more proud of, I was more comfortable telling people that I had got cut than to tell them the true story, that I had walked off the field and quit my dream job.
Wow.
And I just got depressed. My best friend when I was 10 committed suicide, shot himself.
Sorry.
And that was always a struggle. I didn't have anybody to talk to then. I was the pallbearer, and then we went back to school. And the kids need some therapy from that. And so that was always in the back of my mind. And here I am, just quitting. It felt like a loser. And I said, maybe I need to just go see my friend Bobby. And God told me not to. I really said, "God, I need your help. I don't want to end this way. But I can't live with my failures this way." And against all odds, 3 years being out of football, he said, "No, you got to do it. You got to do this." And I trained my mind, and I just started reading about it and just doing it all by myself with God's help, overcoming my anxiety because it would make my legs 100 pounds a piece. But I only did this, and I came back, was successful, had a dozen teams that wanted to sign me, but then I blew my knee out, had an ACL tear, and back then it wasn't like it is today where you can get back.
Yeah.
But by that time I was so happy that I had my mental strength. it was okay that my physical, something that you cannot overcome. I mean, it's that you, but the mental was all on me. I had to control my mind, and I had to do something about it. And then what I didn't realize, but once I got back, and everybody kind of thought that my life was perfect, all my dreams came true, blah blah blah. And when I had my children, and now I have a 28-year-old daughter that is struggling mentally, and she's struggling very very much, but and she thought Dad always was perfect. So I wanted to do a documentary to show her that it's not so perfect, and I want to show you how I struggle. And she was shocked because it made her feel better. And the producer and director of the show said, "Man, Chris, your story has helped me." Yeah. And I didn't want anybody to know. I was just doing it for my family. And he said, "You care if we put it into some film festivals?"
Wow.
And I said, "Well, okay." So we threw it out there and won 5 awards, and it's just been. And I've been getting text messages from some of the people that watched it saying, "Thank you for sharing, because I never would have thought, and you made me feel that I'm normal."
Yeah.
Because it is very normal. Right. And it's okay to struggle. Yeah. But know that there is a way out.
Yeah, there's help and there's hope. And when you share that story, other people relate to you. And it shows people that you're not alone.
No, and it's, I wish I had the older me telling me that when I was 10.
Yeah, well, here you are now.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do.
Now you're telling a lot of 10-year-olds now.
Yeah, and that's where the documentary Kentucky Cowboy came from.
It did, and then Mike said, "Man, we got to send this to the Cowboys."
Yeah.
And then he got it to play at the Cowboys headquarters.
And so the debut is going to be there
in the team meeting room where they meet and collaborate to put their game plans together. It's the beginning of our post-game project. That's the charity that we're kicking off.
And what is that?
And that's basically a charity that'll bring, we want to bring awareness through media, through music, through film, on the air. So to bring what do they call it? Evoke a conversation. Mm-hmm. What he did. I didn't know. I played with him. I didn't know he was struggling with all this stuff. I didn't know back when he was going through all that he was just another fun guy around me, and I just like being good friends with people, and we have fun together, and I love life. And life is fun to me as long as we surround yourself with great people and fun people that want to do quality things in life. And when Chris asked me to be a part of it, well, I've been recruiting him to come to Texas for years, and so I went and visited him in last couple of years, a year and a half ago or so, in Kentucky, and then you came down here. Go ahead, you're gonna say something.
No, I just wanted to tell him because before to this point, when I first met him, I had to, I had the size and I had the look, and I said I gotta make my presentation to these guys like I'm a tough guy. So I went and bought a bunch of gold jewelry. Looked like
Mr.
T.
No, I'm the one who dubbed you that. Whoops, I'm sorry, I hit that.
Yeah, he called
Mr.
me,
T starter kit, the wife beater T-shirt.
He said, "Look at this guy with it," and I just looked. I didn't get scared or I didn't get intimidated. I just tried to look. I buffed up, and I had my wife beater.
But I'd call him out.
Yeah,
because I call everybody out. I was like,
but
you
I was
don't
taller,
have to flex in front of me. You're big.
I'm flexing my muscles, showing them that, hey, I was like a peacock. I was throwing my feathers up.
Exactly.
And I wasn't going to cower because when I went to the Cowboys, I was a rookie with Michael Irvin. And I get on that bus, and Michael is bigger than life.
Michael's the sheriff.
Yeah. He walked on like he owned the bus like he did.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me, just saying stuff, and I just didn't say a word. I just kind of like hid in the back, and then it just was everything. Michael, Randy, I turned to him. And a kid, Randy, because we spend time with him at breakfast now. But I said, Randy, when I met you, you were my idol when I was 10, and now I was playing with you. And then I turned at you, and I'm asking you. I had the courage to ask you some questions about the defense, and you never turned and acknowledged me till after I was done speaking. And you looked at me like, "What are you doing talking to me? What are you doing? Turn around." You never said that, but that was my image. I said, "You had your big Rolex on?" He said, "Yeah, I still got that Rolex." And I said, "But yeah, it was so intimidating." I just went back into my little shell and felt like that I don't belong. That these are guys, future Hall of Famers, and I don't belong here. was just tough. And I had such a negative, you have a negative little guy on your shoulder and a positive guy. The negative is just really loud, saying you can't do this, don't do that. And the little one, the positive one is telling you, you can do this. But it's really low.
That's me. I'm right here.
Yeah, right.
I'm the little guy on his shoulder there. I'm the little guy saying, you
The
can
big
do
one
it.
shouting
Yeah,
it,
you
shouting
can
it.
do
But
it.
think about this. We all have that voice, or
Yeah.
a lot of us have the voices telling us, you can't do it. You're not good enough. And it was so loud because it's not real. It's
Yeah.
lying to you. So it has to be bigger than life. And then you got the little one on your side telling you, it's BS what they're telling you. You are good enough. You are. So I just balanced that out. That was my 3 years. I decided I'm going to overcome this bad guy. And you need that bad guy to protect you from doing stupid things. But you don't want him to overwhelm you and keep you from living your life to your fullest.
Absolutely.
Once I got this guy to get a little louder in my brain, and that's when I was ready. And I'm so thankful, because I would have missed out on this great life that I've
Right.
had since then.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking of ending it, thinking that I had no reason to live, and I thank God all the time. And that's where I missed the opportunity. 3 weeks, not a teammate, but he played at Louisville. 27 years old. He was having he was a 5-star guy. Was supposed to be going pro, but he kept getting injured. And he took a gun to his head and ended his life.
That was just recently.
That was just 3 weeks ago. And we haven't been able to get that word out that, hey, there's life after football,
Right.
guys. There's life after that your dream doesn't come true.
Right.
Let's focus on that and overcome those things.
So Chris, having the, gumption to put this documentary together for his children, his family, personally, privately, saw the opportunity, put it out into these film festivals, won a bunch of awards along the way. A group of guys from Hollywood type people with writers, and they put on huge events and all these different things. And a guy who produced all the MTV shows and stuff, are good friends of his, and they called me up and said, hey, we want you a part of this, and we created this organization called Post Game Project. And that's what, his story birthed it, gave life to it, in order to be able to help so many other people. Now we're reaching out, we're collaborating with so many other different charities that actually treat people. And we're going to be able to give them the treatment of speech, of expression, whether it be music, whether it be a film, a short film, whether it be something on media, a reel on media, or he's interviewed so many different guys now. He's just, hey, can you get this guy? I'll figure it out. We'll get to him. And then next he's interviewing him, and he's adding them to his documentary as we speak. And they're editing right now, a few of them.
And it doesn't have to be pro athletes. You
Right.
know, well,
Right.
we had
It's
somebody that was in a high executive in the entertainment industry,
Right.
and got overwhelmed and had just quit her job, went back to North Carolina, and needed to get help, got help. And now she wants to be involved. She said, "Wow, this is exactly. I didn't
We're
have
talking
this."
to veterans. We're talking to
Yeah.
veterans. We're talking to first responders. We're talking to, like I said, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business people, anybody that is in the high output arenas in life. There's a high probability that you cannot show that you're down. You can't show that you are. I mean, how many times? We were athletic mercenaries. We played on so many different teams all over the place whenever we could, because we wanted to continue playing the game. But when you got hurt, you rarely went in and showed people that you were hurt. You'd treat yourself at home as you got older when you could.
Yeah.
I'd tape my own ankles at home because I didn't want them to see how bad I was or whatever. Tape all my fingers up, things like that. And so it's just like you want to separate. You didn't want to let people know. And people don't realize the anxiety you go through, the depression that you go through, the different things that hit you over and over and over again. Some of us are very good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Very good at hiding it, but we all deal with it. We all struggle with it. Now you gave the opportunity because you stepped out. You stepped out and put this documentary together. Now you've got a team around you that we're birthing it into the world to be able to give an opportunity for people to see. There's a place I can go. I can listen to people to give me encouragement, or I can come and talk to you guys, and maybe you guys can help me tell my story.
And I was prepared to let this my real story just die when I passed away. I wasn't going to share this with anybody until my daughter needed me to tell her the truth, and she didn't even know. But after I told her, she didn't realize how much it meant to her that the man that she looks up to that could struggle and have the issues. I really believe some of it is hereditary. I don't know that, but I really believe just listening to my family members and then hearing people say that they struggle with it, and to think that they said, wow, we never thought that somebody like you.
Right.
It's so embarrassing when they say that, because I cringe at it, because I'm just a normal person. But for them to think that a guy that could play pro football, be so
Got
strong,
here. We all look up to you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
take the cape off once in a while.
yeah, and realize that and if it makes someone feel better. I know my brother said, do you really want everybody to know? I said, after long and hard thinking and praying, I think I have to, Tommy.
Yeah.
And he said, well, then I support you. So
Yeah, and it's your testimony and it's his testimony of how you can get help. And, before talking about it was like weakness, but it's not anymore. It's strength, and it's showing others that they're not alone. And if you can do it, they can too.
That's what I tell them. And I'm so proud that people like Randy White would tell me, wow, Chris, thank you for doing this. I mean, I was shocked.
Too Tall Jones.
Too Tall Jones said the same thing.
Yeah.
He said, wow, I wish. And the agent that's the scout who signed me with the Cowboys said, Chris, I wish you would have talked to me about that. I said, John, I wish I could have too, but if I would have went to you and saying I got some mental problems, you really would have cut me.
Put that on the list. Okay,
He
check.
says, you're right.
Yeah.
He said, back then we couldn't talk about it. He
Right.
said, but we have made strides since then.
Yes, and you're helping in that.
Yeah, and he
so
said, and that's why he
awesome.
said, I need to get you connected with the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's hooked us up with them. And
And it's growing. It's growing.
is.
I mean, May 16th, we're doing a premiere at the Dallas Cowboys, at the Star, the headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys.
And then you'll be able to watch the film after that. We're going to put
Okay,
it
how
on
will people be able to see
online
it?
and on our website.
Okay.
It's going to be
Postgameprojects.com.
Yep.
Or project, not.
And that's a nonprofit where people
Postgameproject.
can reach out.
.com.
And get
right,
help.
and
Okay.
we're going to be able to put people together, because what we have found out, there's a lot of different organizations that help
Yeah.
different issues.
Right.
But there's not one place to say, oh, where can we go? And
Right.
I mean, let's do it different ways.
We're putting the team back into it.
Yeah.
We're using there's so many specialists out there, so many great, wide receivers, you have
Right.
running backs, you have offensive linemen. We're just sitting there trying to collaborate together with everybody out there. It's already doing great work. And then we're going to use our expertise, which is the people that are with us, our film, speech, music. We want to do a huge concert. May is Mental Health Month. So next year, 2026, you'll be on the lookout for it. We are going to be putting on a huge concert. We'll probably, we've got some friends in the radio industry.
Yeah, we got a few that
might be
can
able to help
promote
us.
I would like to
If
meet
you
them.
know of anyone, please let me know.
But what's interesting is that we've found a lot of successful artists that struggle.
Right.
And they want to be involved
Yeah.
already. Because literally, the guy the gentlemen that are part of our team, I've known for 30 years, they were young, hungry, wanted to be successful in their fields. They weren't football guys, but they were
Producers.
producer. They were assistant producers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So then they turned out to be like Mike said. They went on to produce NFL halftime shows. I've been to the ESPYs because of my buddy that started out as a little helper, and now he's running the ESPYs. I'm walking the red carpet of there. Went to the NFL honors, had better seats than Roger Goodell because of my contacts. And these guys say, hey, I want to be a part of this because I know what it's like. And there's so much talent out there that is being suppressed by your mind.
Oh yeah.
We want to bring that out, give us more competition. Just know that you can win, you can
Yes.
succeed.
And we're kicking it off May 16th.
May 16th, brother.
May
At the Star, and what a great place to kick it off. In those that are invited, it's invite only. Those that are invited, it should be a pleasure, an incredible experience, because we're going to see a tidbit of a few short films, some music, plus his film, of course. That's going to be the main feature of the story of the like I said, his the guts that he had
Brave.
to
It's
put it
brave
out there,
for sure.
bravery to put it out there, the courage to put it out there to help save so many other people.
As
And
many times we'll look on the news and say, "Oh my gosh, they, Robin Williams,
Right.
had
Oh, I
no
know,
idea."
right?
oh yeah,
No idea.
so many
Then it's
people.
too late. Then
And it's too
Right.
late. Yeah.
And that's what I was struggling with the football player. I knew something was wrong. They said that he had died. He's 27 years old and he died. They didn't say any of the backstory.
Yeah.
They didn't want to say. Now that's the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
As hard as it would be, is just say, listen, he didn't just die. He
Right.
committed suicide and,
Yeah.
and he was struggling. So we can get people to know before you get to that point. Please reach out.
Yeah.
Right.
But
If
have
not
those
to
tough
us, to someone.
conversations.
And there is life after this.
Absolutely.
If you can get through that little dark spot,
Yeah.
then and it's a dark spot. It's a deep hole that
It's the valley.
yeah,
But
crawl
then there's
out of
always
that.
the top of the mountain.
God will help you lift out of
Yeah.
there. You
Yeah.
get through there, then you'll see that. Oh man, I'm so happy.
Find your
And now I
purpose.
can do other.
Yeah.
Find your purpose. Once sometimes you got to go through that valley, that darkness, in order to come out and say, okay, here's where I can help. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can do for me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here's what I can do for me, but here's what I can do for others now. And now that becomes something that motivates you throughout life. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I do appreciate you
Absolutely.
putting that on, and thank you for having
It's
us.
a great
too.
team. I mean, you're doing your part. You're great with the Cowboys. You're great with nonprofits, and you add so much to the team, and that's what we love.
Just trying to help you snap the ball. That's all.
Yeah,
Get
no,
it
that's
started.
what you
Get
do.
it started.
But you know what? When you get out in this real world, you don't have a team. It's a
Right.
lot of individuals, and they're always kind of attacking you, trying to
Right.
outdo you. And that's what I miss the most about football is that
Camaraderie.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
You
team.
win and lose together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You learn from each other.
the best part is in the games you have referees that keep everybody honest.
Yeah.
And if you do a penalty, then you're going to get kicked off. But in the real world, there's not much refereeing
Right.
going on.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well, it
stepping
sounds
into,
like that's what this organization
Right.
would be, the nonprofit.
Yeah. Stepping into the world, after the game,
Yeah.
after your career.
That's a whole
You know,
nother-
after that's a whole nother part. We haven't even gone there yet. After that, that's the other. We want to be a place where people can come where it's safe, where people can come there and say, hey man, can you help us out here? Because there's certain things out there that people will take advantage of your sphere of influence. And they will ride your coattails, and they will use you for every bit you have in order to get where they want to go. But when they get there and something happens, all of a sudden you're nothing anymore. So, you have to realize, we all have to realize that sometimes people are there for a reason. Reason, season, lifetime, right? Oh, Chris and I have been almost most people's lifetimes together, but we just. We want to be able to help those people get through those times, which cause depression, which cause, injuries cause depression. We're talking about, we're going to have some doctors and some functional medicine and some opportunities to talk about what is out there for the people to be able to help with their injuries, because, you've seen us get out of a car today in
Yeah,
the rain.
right.
My knee, I'm sitting there limping and get my blood going there, his hip, and we're sitting there going, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden we're good, but it's depressing at times when you can't do what you used to be able to do as a professional. You were at elite status, and then all of a sudden you're not. And then when you're not, it's hard. So there's also those times in business when when you get taken advantage of, and it happens all the time. To a lot of us, they use that sphere of influence that you provide. You're naive, you don't know what they're doing, and next thing you know, you get in trouble with certain things. That's my story that will go on another time.
I got a good friend who's a dentist, or he was until he was diagnosed with Parkinson's last year, and now it got so bad that he's not able to do his profession because of his hand shaking,
Yeah.
and it's really affecting his mind over that.
Absolutely.
So now he says, "Man, I never thought he was going to end his profession this way." So that's a whole nother mental struggle that he's dealing with now. So as to think that having Parkinson's isn't enough. Now he's
Right.
got to deal with
The
not
mental part of it.
yeah, and not having that income and that life.
Yeah.
And that's why every player, and to go back to touch on what Mike said, every professional athlete has the day when they're done.
Yeah.
And that day when you're done, most people, unless you're the elite superstar, nobody they literally forget you when you're not an active player.
Right.
And the reality is that that part of your life is over. And when you say it like that, wow, it's over. You're a former. You're as I hate the word has been, but they throw that at you.
But at least we was someone.
Yeah, right.
We was
He
been.
was. Anyway.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank
Definitely
you
going
for
to
having
change
us.
lives and
I
save
appreciate
lives.
sharing it.
Yeah, and so the Kentucky Cowboy, how can people see it?
Well, after May 16th, they're
Okay.
going to be on our website at
postgameproject.com.
So that will take us to the nonprofit and the documentary.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you
sharing.
so
Thank you
much.
for what you do.
Thank
God
you.
bless.